talking about money with you, even though this one's it's freaking me out a little bit, because we're talking about financial advisors, but you have to really be on top of it. And a lot of people get a financial advisor and then think, oh, I can take my hands off the wheel because someone is responsible and they are dealing with my finances, but no, not so much.
Don't do that. They're not a tour guide giving you a city tour of London or something. You need to be in it. This is a question I get asked almost more than any other. And it has huge importance, right? In part because the money we're talking about. So as you get closer to retirement, you could have amassed a couple $100,000, maybe even $500,000. Your advisor may then be costing you 10 grand a year for years and years and years. So think about what you spend 10 grand a year on. Like, that's more than you spend on your nails, right? At least what you spend on your nails. So it's a lot of money. The switching costs are high. So if you choose an advisor and you don't like them, it's not like a therapist. You just say, I don't want to talk to that therapist anymore. I'm going to find a new one. And then third, this whole topic brings fear to the tip. People get really stressed about it. They don't want to get fleeced. There's a whole bunch of that.
It's hard to switch. It's expensive to switch.
It's not so much that it's expensive. It can be. It's more the logistics, right?
I see.
The therapist, you just call up someone else and go, you know, you tell me what I want to hear. Financial advisor, there's a lot of logistics. It's a big process. You can do it, but it's a big process.
What are we to look for then when we're trying to choose an advisor?
Well, it is not a regulated term. It's akin to me calling myself a fashion expert. I would never do that, by the way, because I am clearly not qualified. But anybody can call themselves a financial advisor. It's not a regulated term. So you want to look at qualifications, compensation, and quality. The qualifications, there's a lot of different acronyms out there. If you're with someone at a bank, they might be MFDA licensed. Someone more, you know, in a different environment could have a certified financial planner designation. So there are different designations. The compensation, there's basically three types. Commission-based, where they sell you a mutual fund and then they get 2.3% of that forever. Fee-based, which is a percentage based on the total assets you have. And fee-for-service. And I really love fee-for-service because it's basically like you're paying a therapist. You just pay the fee and that's it. They don't make any money based on the amount of money that they have with you.
Okay, but you say a lot of people don't want to do that because we almost want to feel like our advisor is free.
Oh, yeah,
it's free. This doesn't cost me a thing.
Which, of course, it does. And that view makes absolutely no sense. Like, you think these people don't have mortgages? Financial advisors don't have kids to feed? They have. They need to have a job. They need to be paid. But in our psyche, we love to feel like, oh, the bank, they're so great. They gave me this wonderful woman to help me manage my money. No, you're paying for that.
Absolutely.
It is a service. The third thing is the quality. As with any service industry, there are great financial advisors and there's not so great financial advisors. There aren't as many terrible ones as you might think. So when people say, I'm worried about Bernie Madoff, I don't worry about that. I actually don't worry about that. I worry that you're going to have a meh and not get full value for the money that you're paying.
Got it. So someone that's not going to be fully invested in your portfolio, they might not be pushing you in the right direction just because they don't really care as much. Got it. Now, so where do you start to find the right one? Do you just go to your bank?
You don't just go to your bank. I would start asking friends and family for someone they love.
Someone who's maybe made them money or got them in the right direction?
Got them in the right direction. And I'll talk about my criteria in a second. So start with friends and family. But the second thing I would do is go to Money Sense Approved. And as you know, I write for Money Sense. I'm a huge fan of the magazine. This is a new service, and it replaces this. We used to have this blog post, and it was basically a list of names because people really want our advice on who to choose. So we've evolved into a much more sophisticated tool. The advisors are screened based on qualifications. There's a client survey, there's a phone survey, and they pay a fee to be on this website. So you go in, you put in your postal code and the assets that you have, and then a whole bunch of names pop up, and you're not done there, but at least you've got kind of this seal of approval that filters out ones, and you know that if something does go wrong, you can loop back and say, hey, listen, this was Money Sense approved. I want to make sure that this is good. In that voice. You have to say it in that voice.
You got to say it in that voice.
Like that. Just like that.
So the good thing is that if they're paying to be a part of this, you almost think that it's people that might be taking it a little bit more seriously. At least they've gone through the criteria that Money Sense has put out there.
It's a big process.
It's a big process.
So you've got the name, and then you need to interview them.
So this is interesting. So most people think, oh, thank goodness the financial advisor wants to work with me. But no, you should be interviewing them to figure out what works for you and your family.
We are so messed up about our relationship to financial advisors. Like, think of another service provider. You don't go in and go, I'm so thankful grateful you can give me a massage today. I am so grateful that you were giving me a massage because clearly you've got better things to do.
Yeah.
No, that person has a mortgage and they're providing a service and whatever.
Same thing.
Same thing.
Yeah.
And yet we're so about money that we think, oh, they're doing us a favor. No, they're not. It's their business.
Right.
So when you interview them, you ask questions based on the criteria that are important to you. I have criteria. They're not the same for everyone. But I want you to, and if you already have an advisor, by the way, listen to my criteria and score your person and see, like, are they a C+?
I'm going to do that right
are they
now.
an A+, right?
Okay.
Number one, communication. Are they communicating in a way that works for me? I'm the client. I'm the client. So if they're calling me up and giving me every move and point change on the TSX and I don't care, you just need to stop calling me.
Right.
Or they never call me except for in February. So what's the level that you want? Number two, are they giving you advice? Because a lot of financial advisors make their business selling products. So they sell you a product, whatever it is. But I care about the product. I want the advice. So I want a financial plan that gives me the life that I want. Number two. Number three, are they thinking holistically? Every single thing about your life, your mortgage, your kitchen renovation, your kids' education,
your vacations,
and
everything.
they do not get paid on your mortgage.
Right.
So when you go to your financial advisor who sold you a mutual fund, they actually didn't get paid about your mortgage, but I want them to think about that because that's relevant.
Right.
When you come in, you got a $5,000 bonus at work. Do you put it on your mortgage? Do you put it on your RRSP? They need to be able to think holistically to give you the best advice on that.
Got it.
And then the final one, are they willing to hold you accountable for what you say you want? So you work with trainers, you work with personal trainers before, right? So you go to see a personal trainer, and if you don't want to do the crunches, they over time will say, I'm not working with you.
Absolutely.
I'm not working with you, because if you're not going to play, that's not how I roll. With financial advisors, we don't hold them to that standard. So when I say I want to be debt-free by whenever, you better make sure you come to my house and knock on the door in the middle of the night.
Actually, my guy's really good then, because it's actually annoying how accountable he holds me. I'm like, oh my gosh, for crying out loud. I know I said it was going to be paid off. Sheesh.